electrician, I see him, yeah. Cause when I see him, I did a rap.
What? You mean you didn't store?
You know that, I did dip, but weren't about to dive through on problem.
I believe ya. Now watch the heat, we bring fever.
Remember appetite?
I used to mac and stalk beaver with the backing, and more puff than the Magic Dragon.
Why the split look large?
Because we put the whole bag in.
I remember there was a slag in my old days of blagging. Enough man to get, but we don't ban a check.
So we skip, find some honey dips and we walk at the night spots. Cause that shit jumping 86, 85, 84 or whenever.
I remember Mandy, she used to like leather.
The freak to beat, freak.
Long before acid when I used to ride a scooter with a Honda bike master.
And when we go to Tokyo to go,
I was laughing London. All the sexy alley, get the pop, I was laughing London.
And the weed man in Amsterdam says,
I was laughing London.
What you tell them? Boy, I want you to listen to the way I strung her. I tell them about the raddies
and the valleys all the manner.
Who roll thick and quick to flip like Bruce Banner. I check my grammar.
The girls in Japan love the slang.
And the ones in Manhattan, they like the chatting, so it's easy spratting.
I remember Burberry's and Aqua Scootin' jackets. We contemplate sax and a shacker used to smash it with the ratchets. We used to play fight in the sunshine and laugh at the suckers getting stung on the front line.
I used to do the jockey move to the black stones, getting flat in the days of Farrah slacks and beaver hats. A young youth coming up through puberty wasn't known for microphone, and then bowling was still new to me.
Used to clock the sweet things on Oxford Street and King's Road when I shopped on meat skins to ring, you know. And in Japan they say I talk like Damien. The Yanks said I sound Australian, but Eminem. The Chinese girlies asked me, I was laughing London.
And in New York the talk is always,
I was laughing London. And all my honeys in a Rari asked me, I was laughing London.
What you tell them?
I tell them as a youth I used to stun them. And I used to be in love with that hun Carolina. Her daddy was from Jamaica and her mum come from China. She was shocking, so enough man was jockeying to grind up. Cause she stuck with me even though I free time. But as a youth I was already used to jack the cheese in London. Now we chat. I got my flavoured and a pack of cheese and onion. I stunned them. In Japan a black man nice. So always I want them back and crackers so I couldn't sprat in Norway.
As a youth I spent the skins and found his cherries in the middle. If I like the wiggle I call her Eliza Doolittle. Cause by Jove I think she's got it. And if she's got it I'ma get it. Cause I wanna get into it. I used to wanna get intimate. They said I couldn't, now I can. Yes I know I can, honey. The way I'm running things is real funny. As a little whippersnapper it was plenty of money, you know.
All the girls in Queens asked me, I was laughing London.
Sing in the Philippines they asked me,
I was laughing London. And all my Spanish brethren asked me, I was laughing London. Shout all over the world they going, I was laughing London, London, London.
Hello, who's that?
Yo, I'm calling Starving, man. What's the story like the posse?
What up, Star? Them just landing up.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, and them boom up all over the place. New York, LA, West Coast, all over.
Thanks for a while, yeah?
Tell you what. And them murder them, murder them, murder them.
Element, FDO, everywhere.
First this evening, graffiti vandals have struck at more than 20 tube stations in what police believe may be revenge attacks. platforms from Camden to Brixton have been spray painted, just days after officers targeted and arrested suspected so-called taggers.
Comes just 3 weeks after a major police crackdown on tube vandalism aimed to highlight just how dangerous the practice is. Well, Liz Wickham is at Barking Station for us now. Liz.
It was shortly after 11 o'clock last night that the driver of a westbound District Line train spotted a group of men in the sidings between Barking and Upney. He naturally notified British Transport Police, and it appears that as soon as these men realised they'd been spotted by security guards, they made off and somehow managed to fall under a moving tube train. Now, the 2 victims we do know are aged 21 and 19. They're white men. There were 2 others. One is in custody. He's aged 23 and also a white man. And a 4th is still being sought.
This is a photo album of my brother Brad. He used to write over and he got killed at Barking with another boy called Dan. And it was like, this is out of the paper, and like our local paper. It's just like about my mum, the last words, what she said to him and that. And that's me when I was about 3, and he must have been about 5 or 6 at my auntie's wedding. And this is like some of the photos that I found in his stuff when we went through it. That's like a train photo that he must have done. That's a drawing he done me when he was about 11. And that's a poem that I wrote and read out at the funeral. And that was about, there was an inquest about the death. There was a newspaper thing from there. And that's on my little girl Macy. That's her first birthday with me and Brad at my mum's house. And these ones are off the internet. They're one of Brad in front of one of the trains we done. One of them at the station. And I think someone told me that one's from New Year's. It looks proper happy in that one and all. That's another one of his trains. Been standing there. It's what someone done on, like, for a tribute, and then one. That's at Rainham Station. That's at my dad's in Australia. He went out there for about a month. And that's when he was younger. I think he must have been about 15 or 16 when he started going raving. There's some more trains that he done in a different name, what I know. That was engraved at the town centre. That was like an RYK zone. And this is engraved at the sea walls, like a big massive sea wall, and like all his mates came down and stuff and done like all tributes and that on the walls. I knew about it for ages because I used to keep his train photos at my stuff like that. I used to nick his paint when I was younger. I used to stash it outside my mum, so I used to nick it and pretend I could do it. So I knew about it for a while, but I didn't really understand it. But now I go out and ride the trains and look around, go and see all these spots, what he's done and that. It was good.